Welcome back, everybody. Okay, as you saw in the intro, today is Silk Road Day. Finally, we're going to be building the Silk Road in this. I when I we had the Lord of the Silk Road like 5 episodes ago. It was between these three nations, and then the Mongols cut ties, and then the blue team got mad, and then an invasion of the old team over here that was building the Silk Road was done. Either way, both of these guys are blue team allies. These guys especially because they're not really. It depends. Like they're blue team allies in India and this part of Asia, but like in Persia, they hate the blue team. For the most part, though, the blue team really wants to develop the Silk Road now, but without the Mongols this time. And that is something that is very rude of the blue team. However, you know what? Sure, blue team do what they want. Either way, though, the Silk Road development does begin. And very quickly, first things first is going to be a bunch of nomads setting up what the Silk Road actually is. So the Silk Road's borders, it has to be kind of big borders because it's the Silk Road, and it's obviously more than just the road itself. So let's draw those borders first. So we're gonna say people from both teams are going to explore these lands and kind of get this as the Silk Road's main kind of borders. So okay, I want to make this have more personality than it does right now. I feel like we should make this go down or up in some way. I feel like this is desert here, no? Okay, anyways. Okay, it can go down a bit, go down, and then it can go up. Yeah. Okay, and same over here. This will go down, this will go like that, go up, and now it will attach right there. This is the borders of the Silk Road. Actually, I might want to change that a little bit. Let me get it. Okay, we're back. So these are the borders of the Silk Road now. And honestly, I feel like it should have been this. This outer stuff should not even have been included. Mm, We could do that, however, because realistically, what it actually should be is like this, like that. Like you see, that makes more sense. However, these guys are very mean, and also they don't want these guys to have anything. So as you can see, very deliberately, not only did they make it not touch this Mohol thing, which is like their secret little laboratory, they also made it not touch uh that stuff up there in the north. Actually, I'm gonna make a little change to this because I feel like this is still incredibly close to these guys' little military base thing. And so I feel like they would honestly want it to go like this instead, staying even a little bit more away from there. Now, the Mughal plan for this was pretty bad plan. It was to cut through the Himalayas and then reach up here, touching this, and then from the other side, it was to also kind of do the exact same thing. But firstly, Himalayas. Secondly, desert. Third, literally all of Tibet is over there, I'm pretty sure. So that makes it even more harder. Yeah, because this is Pakistan, which means somewhere over here is Kashmir, which means, and like if you go from here to there, that's Nepal and north of Nepal. Yeah, Tibet is like right here, and then we can stretch Tibet out here. Also, this is Bangladesh, and above Bangladesh is China straight north. Yeah, there's the Himalayas right there. Either way, but that's not the only reason the whole plan was rejected. Also, because the blue team said so. But blue team is very much invested in this, and right off bat, blue team is going to create their own little nation right here. They're actually gonna straight up colonize that land. Um, yeah, these kids are rude, aren't they? Anyways, so they're gonna capture this, and then Shanghai, they're going to also colonize quite the bit of land. However, their land is like a lot less valuable. It has no people living there. Now, there's not any people living here necessarily that much, so like they don't have to integrate that many people, but like still, it's still like difficult to colonize just because of the terrain. And then these guys are going to have the biggest claim out of everybody, and that's going to be this big. As you can see, these kids are not going to be able to hold on to this at all. Let's be honest here. And then the rest is going to get turned into another one of those neutral zones. I feel like the blue team also deliberately goes out of the way to make sure that neither the Mongols nor the red team have any claims. However, sadly, that means sacrificing not only their own claim but also making sure that none of their allies get some. As they say, only the people who worked on this should deserve the claims. They don't actually believe this, let's be honest, but they don't want the blue team or the Mongols to get anything. Also, after like last episode, they're gonna start seeing the Mongols as more of a threat, which is probably not good for the Mongols to be honest. But the Mongols, they're gonna realize this, and they're going to quickly they're gonna see what the blue team is doing, and they're gonna set up a little panel of a lot of nations, and that's going to consist of Japan, the red team, Mughals, Bangladesh, Bengal, all of these guys, all of these Stanistan nations except for no, all the empire nations except for Stanistan, these guys, Crimea, the Balkans, Rome's entire no, Rome's alliance is gonna sustain everyone down here, and they're basically going to say, look, we're voting that this land becomes completely uncolonized. We don't want Blue Team Shanghai or Stanistan here, as we believe, in our humble opinion, that this is a trade route. Blue Team says I can literally make the exact same argument for your entire country. I mean, like, fair enough, This is technically a trade route. You go up here, you go over here, and then, yeah. But the Mongols took a little bit of offense to that. Red Team eventually steps in and says, okay, how about we give each of these countries, we make a lot of small countries here, and we give them their own independence. And a lot of people over here especially like that idea. However, Blue Team quickly suppresses that too, saying that we're the ones that colonized this land. So actually, you will either let us keep all of it, or no one can have any of it. And right after saying that, they're going to start locking up a lot of the borders. That's going to make the Mongols even more mad, especially the red team, who's going to call an international vote. And in the vote, the option of making this all uncolonized land, that's still like colonized but not colonized, is going to win. And the blue team's option of keeping it like it is right now is going to come last. However, the blue team does not care. And that is going to lead to some upset people in here. And eventually, a rebellion is going to break out, and a new country in this region is going to form, the first of many. Now, this thing, is a breakaway state from these guys, because they were going to colonize this. So first things first is going to fight a war for independence, and very quickly we can assume that these guys are going to get whooped around. First things first, they're going to already lose all of this stuff just because this is stuff that these guys were already developing. So these guys don't even really know how to protect it. And then from here, after some fighting, the red team is going to step in, and they're going to get a little bit of they're going to get these guys their independence in exchange for quite the hefty land losses. However, at least they have independence. Can't really complain when you're getting independence. So they're going to lose, as you can see, a quite a bit of land. All of this, and this is all basically land that the other guys developed. So that's that's why they're gonna get this land. That's how they're gonna justify it, and they're going to capture that land up real fast. That's already under now the green team's control. Stand control. Um, the red team basically said this to protect lives. However, lives are still going to be lost because these guys are now going to influence the blue team's thing in particular to just rebel completely from the blue team. That is going to make life a lot more difficult for the blue team. The red team and the other countries are also getting scared because this was supposed to be a peaceful trade area, and now it's becoming a very bloody war zone. So firstly, let's give these guys a color. We're going to derive that color from green. Let's actually no. We're going to make it let's make it a colored version of pink. Okay, this one is nice. We're going to paste, please. Thank you. Let's put the capital in the center. This is our first country, independent. Second thing, blue team. very quickly. Going to absolutely catapult into independence movements, mostly from the west, and from the west it's going to spread and it's going to capture a lot of land. Blue team's going to realize that this is slowly and slowly becoming unprofitable, and so they're going to say, you know what, fine, take your independence. Only if you are under us. And so they're going to employ their own government to take control of this land, and they are going to give its independence. However, and it's going to be good for them because it's going to be it's going to be close to them. The people are also going to be happy because they get somewhat independence. This thing is going to have their capital right there. Shanghai is going to follow with this, like right after taking their thing and giving it somewhat independence too, turning it into a puppet state as well. Except theirs is an absolute puppet. Like absolute puppet. Absolute puppet. So they don't I'm not gonna give them capital. Their capital is Shanghai. Uh I kinda want to give Shanghai its own alliance eventually. Because realistically all of East Asia is in an alliance with them, and I guess technically the blue team is in an alliance with them too. So yeah. Also Japan is now finally gonna do something. They're going to go into the red team and they're gonna have some talks with the red team about this area. So yeah, green team is going to be the only one that still stays strong on the fact that this area still belongs to them. Now, blue team's going to do another thing. They're going to say, okay, how about all the tribes here, instead of colonizing them, we give them their own lands, and that's going to lead to some somewhat messy borders. However, at least it's borders. So let's start coloring all of that in. Uh, these guys over here, these guys are gonna go over here. We're gonna have a big thing over here, pretty big, and then the north can be its own thing. Actually, I feel like let's split the north up a bit. Yeah, so this. Now, one thing for sure, we want it all to be that same dark color, but of different colors. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I explained that well. I want it to be like that same darkness but on different colors. Yeah. Um blue, is this blue too similar to that? Hopefully not. It's not. That's good. Pink, that's not too similar to this. We can paste that in. Uh green, let's grab a green version of this. Let's paste that in. Honestly, okay, that's in. Let's get an orange version of this too. This looks nice, I guess. We can paste that in. And let's get a signed version of this, and we can paste that in. So these are new countries in the world. It looks like Tetris, really old Tetris. Let's give these guys their capitals. These guys can have theirs right there, this right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. And these guys will have theirs right there. Also kind of puppets to Shanghai, I'm not gonna lie. This, however, still very huge and very unresolved. Anyways, though, now I think we can move on to the next part of this, which is going to be Shanghai trying to get control in this area. Now, obviously, first, this is going to be a lore filled video. It's going to be just about the Silk Road. So, over here, quickly, China is going to try to get China? Qing? Yeah, Qing. Eh? Yeah. No, Shanghai, my fault. Shanghai. Shanghai are going to try to get um close with a lot of these places. Oh, wait, I have to give these guys the blue team seal of approval, you know? Does blue team not have that global alliance? Oh no, because their African alliance is different than their. Okay, so the blue team today is going to finally form an alliance. Let's grab this with their East Asian allies. Let's grab this color and let's color it with this over here. Wow. Actually, we have to grab Indonesia over here as well. Nope, Indonesia makes it look ugly. This is the color. So, blue team's in it, these guys are in it, and these guys are in it. That's the east one. Now we can grab blue team's color, and let's color it with Shanghai. Honestly, yeah, Shanghai. That's probably their biggest ally in here. Okay, that's this. So let's grab that. Shanghai gets an alliance. I guess blue team's main like base here could be classified as Myanmar, so Myanmar gets that. These guys are in it most definitely. China is most definite. Shanghai's gonna make their own alliance. Shanghai, yeah. So I guess I don't really need to give the blue team an alliance over here. Shanghai though is gonna make its own alliance. I guess what we could do is we could give Saigon an alliance over here, but these guys don't really care about Saigon. First, let's do Shanghai's alliance. So Shanghai's alliance, since it's literally just Shanghai, I'm gonna grab the Shanghai color. I'm gonna make it slightly lighter, and then I'm gonna make it slightly darker. Hold on, slightly darker. No, these guys are narcissists. Let's be honest. This is their alliance's color. That looks disgusting. Okay, hold on. Wait. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right here. Um, let's paste that in for a second. Take this, make it little bit lighter. Take that 50% opacity, color this around, grab this, color that around. That looks somewhat better, I'm not going to lie. Take that, place that. Which one of these is better? That one's better, I would say. So, okay. These guys, kind of want to place that somewhere else, somewhere less important. Mm, right here. These guys are most definitely in it. Okay, out of these guys, I feel like so a lot of countries are going to join this alliance. These guys are going to join it. These guys are going to join it. It looks so much lighter on this. These guys are going to join it. These guys are going to join it. And these guys are going to join it. So see, they have their East Asian thing. Okay, I feel like we need to give it a different color because it looks actually so much lighter. So, okay. This is the exact same color. It looks so much lighter on these guys. Why? I get illusions, but that much is crazy. Okay, let's grab 50% opacity, color this right here. Let's make it a little bit darker by grabbing 50% of this and putting that there. Wait, no, I should be making it lighter. It's with these guys, I guess. Technically, they're starting it a little bit. So I guess we can grab this and make that the color. So these guys, these guys, these guys, oh my god, it looks so much lighter still. But it's fine. I can't change nature, you know? These guys are in it, these guys are in it. No, those guys are not in it, these guys are in it. Yeah, this is our Chinese alliance. I mean, not Chinese. I keep saying Chinese. I meant to say, Qing. No, Shanghai, yeah. I keep thinking to season 1 for some reason. I don't know why. Um, and then I guess I should probably give the blue team one with Saigon, but I'll do that when there's more countries in this area. Because right now it's literally just these two that are blue team allies. Um, yeah, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe. I'll see you next time. And next episode, a little bit teaser, is going to be Australia themed. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.